ma'am. Hello, ma'am. What can I get for you today?
Could I have the Chateau Saint Michel Syrah from Washington State, please?
Very well.
Thank you.
Ma'am, may I present you Chateau Saint Michel Syrah 2012?
What is your role when the sommelier walks over to you with a bottle of wine? This is a video about perfecting the art of ordering your wine at a restaurant. Check the bottle. Ensure that it is indeed the wine that you ordered for from the list. In doing so, you will check the name of the wine brand, the producer, the vintage, and a grape variety. In this case, this is the correct bottle of wine. Thank you. I will have that. Now, I have noticed many people often pick up the cork and sometimes to assess the quality of the wine will actually sniff it. I'm not sure what a person gets by actually sniffing a cork. It actually tells you nothing about the wine. The real purpose of having a good look at the cork, in fact, is to check the condition of the cork, to see if there are any deep crevices or cracks in the cork, and to see if the seepage of the wine has gone through all the way to the length of the cork, which is not desirable. So in an ideal condition, in this case, for example, the wine staining is only at the rim of the cork and doesn't go all the way through. This tells you that this cork is in perfectly good condition, and so the chances of the wine actually being in good condition are also high, right? So we go ahead and we approve of this. This is common practice in restaurants where the sommelier will walk over to you and pour you a small sample of the wine in your glass. What is your role? What are you expected to do? Most people will actually taste the wine and reject it on the basis of the fact that they don't actually like the wine. That's not correct. You're not being poured that sample of wine to actually accept or like it or dislike it. The purpose of sampling that wine is for you to determine whether there are any flaws or faults in that sample. The most common flaw you can find is the wine may be completely oxidized. In case of an oxidized wine, it becomes duller in color. It loses its clarity, its shine. In some cases, it also appears cloudy. On the nose, it appears more acetone-like. And on the palate, it would have lost its fruit. It would have tasted more of baked apples or just something that is not really very wine-like. It will lose its fruit. The second most common fault that you will find is actually a wine that has been stored in very high conditions of heat. This is not uncommon in a country like India, where storage of wines can happen for prolonged periods under extreme heat conditions. So the wine gets cooked, and cooked wine is a fault. So when you actually sniff a wine that is cooked, it may smell very jammy and it may appear appealing, but when you taste it, it will again have lost a lot of its fruit and it will almost taste sour on the palate. That to you should be an indicator of a fault in a wine and you should be able to reject it. The third common flaw in a wine is TCA. Never mind, it means trichloroanisole, but what is commonly referred to as corked wine. A lot of people think a corked wine is a wine with pieces of particles of cork in the wine. That's not right. Actually, a corked wine is one that has been affected due to a special kind of a fungus or a mold, typically coming from unclean corks or unclean wineries, unclean barrels, a number of reasons. But this mold imparts a very strong sort of a smell to the wine, which is very unappealing. So the most commonly detectable smell on the wine could be that of a wet cardboard or of a wet sort of a carpet when you walk into a musty room. So that's a very undesirable smell, and it can be detected up to very low threshold levels as well. So the minute you smell a wine that smells like that, you should be able to reject it. Let's have a quick taste of this wine and see how it's doing. Oh, beautiful. It's completely clean, it's fruity, and it's fresh. Thank you, we'll have that. If you've enjoyed this video, subscribe to my channel, Sonal Holland Wine TV. And in the meantime, enjoy as many wines as possible.